Come on, Bubba. Let's play some Bubble Bobble. Yeah! There we are. All right, chat. Let me know if you can hear me. I was using the fancy mute button again. Hopefully you couldn't hear me earlier while I was talking. It was probably a very one-sided conversation.
I could hear you.
Yeah, well, yeah, she could hear me. All right, so today we have the Blind Bard, and technically I saw them at Ecclesicon at the beginning of May, but I did not introduce myself. We didn't meet or talk, so can't really say I know them. This is my first sit down with them, but they have their own YouTube channel, and they're trying to do their own thing, which we will get into, spreading some awareness for blindness in the TTRPG scene. And I may or may not have binged some of their videos once I found them, because they're very interesting. But mostly shorts content, if that's your cup of tea. So, to start things off, of course, we got to introduce you. So, I've kind of rambled a little bit already, but why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you're doing on YouTube and what's going on generally?
Okay. So, hi. Thanks for coming. My name is Jen Cash. I'm the blind bard. And I started my YouTube maybe late 2024. I've been blind since birth, and I have a master's degree in vision education.
Mm.
And I have been playing TTRPGs since 2017 and recently got into DMing a bit more. And I started my YouTube channel to spread the awareness about blindness and tabletop games and make people aware that we love them and we're interested in playing them regardless of crunch. And I just wanted to spread that so that people know, because it's a great hobby for anybody, especially for us, because we primarily use our imaginations.
I guess you would, wouldn't you? Now that I think about it. So I was telling her before we went live, I haven't had any blind people in my life experiences. I was telling her a little bit about when I worked with the deaf community, but blindness was never something I encountered. The closest I got to it was a very good friend of mine's mother almost went blind. I don't remember the condition, what was going on, but I remember there was a risk of it. It wasn't total blindness. It was just her vision was going to get drastically reduced, but it ended up not happening. So, but anyway, all right. So Glee says vision education sounds very niche and is wondering what's that was about. And I was also wondering, does that mean what we will call regular education, like math, English, spelling, and all that, but for blind people? Or is it teaching blind people how to navigate the world without sight?
Okay, so those are two different things. So I went I took my master's at UMass Boston, and they had a couple of different tracks. One was orientation and mobility, and that's the track where you teach people to navigate the world. I did vision studies, which is what we call being a teacher of the visually impaired. And usually you have to take a lot of courses in Braille and one O&M course. Then you have a technology course where they teach you how to use the screen readers. And then implications of low vision was another one. So there's a lot that we needed to study. And basically at the end, after all of our practicum and assessment classes were done, I got licensed as a teacher of students with visual impairments. And it's a 2-year degree. So I finished up in 2009.
Cool. All right. So, well educated, much more than I. So, also, Twice Dead here in the chat said he had seen your Deathbringer video already. So, somebody already knows you. Looky there, you're famous.
Thank you.
All right. So, I also warned her ahead of time that I never know what is the right thing to say. So she will scold me if I cross the line.
No, don't worry about it. You can ask me anything you want.
Yeah. So I will figure out on the front end here just how much or little you can see. And now that I'm thinking about it, there was a video you had where you mentioned a sister, I think, with a similar condition, but you guys actually do things very differently, if I remember right.
Yes. So first thing you have to know is vision is a spectrum. So even though we have the same diagnosis, our functional vision, how we see in everyday environments, is completely different. She can see way better than me.
Oh.
And so she has the luxury of going around without a cane. I still need one or a human guide, but that's okay. And so we totally do things differently. Like she has her own system and what works for her, and I have my own tricks, what works for me. For instance, I like to use Braille dice as to accompany my Pixels dice, and she just likes the Pixels dice. She thinks Braille is hard to read, so there's no one strategy that works. It's just what you're used to, and many times you have to figure it out at the table as you go.
Yeah. Unless I started out, and when I mean started out, I mean born blind, and Braille was the first thing, I was taught to read. I don't think I could pick it up otherwise unless I just grew up with it. Like if I were to lose vision tomorrow, I would struggle with Braille. That seems super hard to me.
I mean, it's not hard if you practice it and you do it enough. But it's definitely easier if you learn it early.
Yeah.
I know about enough to be dangerous. I know how to label my food and my clothes and some stuff for games. But that's about it. I don't really read any books.
Oh man, a whole book in Braille. That would be.
I've always been very visual. So getting used to that has been a real challenge. But I can write it.
Oh.
And I think you could learn it if your advantage is you can learn the dot patterns. So you could use SimBraille to learn the dot patterns. For someone that's fully sighted, that's the route that everyone goes. That's how I learned it first. Because when I was in school, that's how we did it.
Oh.
And I remember asking my professor, I'm like, there's no adaptations for people who want to go into this field that are visually impaired. And she's like, nope, you got to do it the way everyone else does it.
Well, that doesn't work very well.
Yeah, sometimes the accommodations are hard to come by.
I would imagine. Yeah, so, well, actually, on that note, so Glee is who I am married to. She's in the chat. And some years ago, she was in a car wreck, broke her knee, and that led to some, she had to hobble around on some crutches for a little while. Stairs were a no-no.
Yep.
I'm sure she felt like it was very terrible at the time, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that bad compared to what other people had put up with as far as limitations and stuff go. But it was a bit of an eye-opener. It's like, man, geez, we were looking for ways to get around stairs because her knee just couldn't do it for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's it gets you thinking. You don't realize, I guess, what you have until it's gone. So.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel because there was a time I sprained my ankle and I could do the stairs, but it was hard.
Yeah.
Like I only went downstairs once a day, upstairs once at night, and that's it. For a couple of months, and then I was all right.
All right, so Twice Dead, I did not ignore your question there. I did see it, but with that is actually on the list, and we will be getting into all kinds of stuff like that about character sheets and whatnot. And Glee Pixels, that is a brand of dice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, those are the ones that connect to your phone and read.
And they not only do they light up, but they talk.
Mm-hmm.
You can make them talk. You can make them play music. They do MP3s. You can create all sorts of patterns with them. You can program them to roll your modifiers and add them to your die rolls. There's a ton you can do.
Yeah. So Those are nerdy dice. That's what we'll call them. So the basic stuff we always got to ask is, how did you get into TTRPGs originally? Who's to blame? Who dragged you into it?
All right. Well, let's see. Um, Even before I started playing TTRPGs, my sister was playing, and she was in a Wednesday group. And I remember thinking, geez, I wish I could be a part of that. But there were two problems. It was about 45 minutes away from me, and there were 9 people in the party. And she's like, I'm sorry, but that's a lot, and we'd love to have you, but there are too many of us already. So that just got me thinking. And so originally, when I met one of my exes, he loved TTRPGs too. And he had, I think his favorite thing was Star Wars, but he had the second edition of D&D. So he's like, all right, I'll make you a campaign and we'll do a duet campaign. And that was so fun. I loved it. And then I started going to the library in my town, and I didn't have anything. I had dice that I really couldn't see because they were regular size dice. But they were super nice. And the DM, he gave me like a whole another set of dice, even though I already had a set. And then he's like, okay, we'll make you a character. And he made me a wood elf ranger. And then, you know, he helped me select spells. And he's like, okay, I'm going to read this to you. This is the character sheet. And then we just started playing, and it kind of took off from there. From then I was hooked. And now when I met my husband in 2019. I met him in 2019. My God, has it been that long?
I won't tell him you forgot.
No, it's funny because today is our anniversary.
Oh, well, happy anniversary.
Thank you. 4 years. But when we first started, I was still doing the library thing, and he kind of helped me figure out the best way to figure out the character sheets, because it was always changing, and we were kind of like adapting it, because as your vision changes, you kind of need to make new modifications. So he came up with a really good system, which was to alternate the colors. So like, I guess they do this in Excel sheets, like one cell's black, the other cell's white, just so you can tell them apart and it's easier to read. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, when you make a table, yeah, it'll do the alternating color thing.
Yeah, so he did that for me, and it actually was really helpful, because the contrast really helps us isolate the text. So that was one of the things he helped me do. And then he got me into like doing all the minis, because at that time we were still doing minis. And he's the one that introduced me to all the other games. So after D&D, the next game I learned was Conan.
Oh
no, actually, sorry, no. It was Star Wars, which lasted about 5 minutes because I accidentally TPK'd the party. But then it was Conan. And then from there, we tried lots of different things. And it's great because you always try something new. You have your favorites, but you always, like, there's so much we could try. And every time we go to cons, we get games. So
that's how it
and
goes.
I say to him all the time, we need to actually play some of these.
Well, on that note of multiple systems, I know I can't ask what's your favorite and pick one, but we'll say what are a couple preferred ones, and then what are your more least preferred ones. And if the answer's
Okay.
not D&D, the interview's over. We you got to hate on
Okay.
D&D around here. So
No, no, no. I don't hate on D&D. I mean, most of my videos are about D&D, so I like the system because it's the one I am most familiar with, and it's um, the one I kind of cut my teeth on. Um, but some of the easier systems, Easy D6, I love the magic system in that. Um,
it's pretty great.
eh, yep, Kids on Brooms.
I haven't
That
played
one's a
that one
little
yet.
complicated, but it's super fun, and you can always modify it to make it work for you.
Hmm.
And what else? Coriolis. I love Coriolis.
I don't know that one. I have not heard of it.
Oh, it's the best.
Oh.
So it's kind of like a realistic space game.
Oh.
I mean, it's super deadly. Um, don't go into combat if you don't want to die.
Okay. It was like a mouse ritter kind of thing.
Yep.
Mm.
Let's see. Aliens was a lot of fun.
Mm.
Um, Shadow Dark.
Yeah, you
That's
mentioned
that's
that one earlier.
yeah, that's one of the more recent ones. Um, and Star Wars, the Fantasy Flight. It's the most complicated system ever, but I love the dice. I love the narrative way they work. And it pisses me off because I can't see them, so it's not like I could run it for myself. But when time allows, it's a really fun game. It can be very intense though, very stressful.
Oh, okay. Well, what about the ones you didn't like that kind of just left a bad taste in your mouth?
Mm, let me think. Ah,
Or were they just all fantastic in their own little way?
no. I mean, okay, so I really liked Star Trek, but when I tried like the Klingon version of that, I
Not
don't
so
know.
much.
Didn't do it for me. But maybe it was just the session. I'd be willing to give it another try. Um, Simbaroon was kind of fun, but I think there was something weird about that one too. Like the magic system, I think it had like some corruption or something in it.
Mm-hmm.
We only played that one maybe once, so I don't remember. I could be wrong. Forbidden Lands. I didn't like that one, but I
Oh.
think it's because I made a really niche character that was only good at one thing. So it could have been that.
Oh no.
But I tend to not gravitate towards the super crunchy games. Um, Pathfinder being one.
Mm-hmm.
Never tried it, but if it's more crunchy than D&D, then it would be really hard for me to play because
Yeah.
the more skills you have, the worse it is.
Yeah, so somebody was running a Pathfinder 2e campaign, and they were really far, they were using an adventure module, and it was a big long one, and they were really far into it. And then somebody had a very, I don't know what made them leave, but I don't want to say life emergency, but something came up in life that they had to take care of and back out of the campaign. So this guy that was running it reached out. He's like, "Hey, can you just like fill in so we can, we got like a few more months left of this, but they're so far along. I don't want to just stop." I was like, "Yeah, sure. How bad can it be?" I played that probably for 4 or 5 months every week, and I still have no idea how anything works. Like, granted, I came in at like level 8 or 9, but still,
Yeah.
there was a lot of moving parts, and he was using a virtual tabletop, and it automated a ton of stuff, and it's just like, geez, it looked like that would take forever to play at a table, but I will say it was very well balanced, and that's what I hear is kind of Pathfinder's claim to fame. Is like, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, but it's super balanced. So,
Well, that's
not,
good.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
not for
I
me, but
no, I don't. I'm kind of intimidated by all the skills and stuff in that one, but I know plenty of other blind people that play it, and they
okay.
swear by it.
Really, man.
Yeah, I asked once. I'm like, how are you doing that? And they told me an Excel sheet.
Yeah, okay. That's when it's too much. So on that note, do you prefer the more rules light system over the crunchier ones? Or I heard a few crunchy ones that sounded like the Star Wars ones, but
Yeah, that's pretty crunchy. It kind of depends. I mean, if someone is willing to help me with the crunch, then I don't mind. I don't go out of my way to play very crunchy systems, but you can't not. You have to try them at least once, because if you don't, you never know if you're going to like it or not.
that's fair.
And I'm always willing to give the game a chance, because you never know what you can pick up from different games.
That's true. That's true. I 5e was my introduction to TTRPGs, and I didn't like it. So I got into the rules light thing. I went from 5e to Easy D6, and then I was like, yeah, this is the direction I want to go. So
Yep.
I've played a few crunchy ones since then. For example, a buddy of mine, Blaze, he made a game called World Shapers, which I guess I'll give him a little shout out. It's totally free. It's all online. The whole thing's online. You can go check it out if you want. Playing it is not that difficult. It's like D10 for skills and D20 for your attacks, but character creation, it isn't complicated automatically, but it can become very, very complicated if you have like a super duper complex character you want to make. So that's pretty neat. But
That's cool.
yeah, it's a fun game. And then I think Peter was in the chat from Tales from Elsewhere. I think he likes to call his game Medium Crunch, which I think is a good term, because it's got some moving parts, but it's nothing like 5e keeping up with stuff. So there's Peter.
Yeah.
He's still around. Ayo. So if you like Weird West, what would you call it, Peter? Weird West horror, action horror. I think that's what you call it. So
That sounds fun.
it's pretty fun. Its big thing, if you haven't heard of it, is instead of HP, it just has wounds. So that is,
Yes, I think
yeah, Peter is the wounds guy.
he was on
Yeah, he was on that video.
What's his
We were
channel,
just
right?
talking about, yeah, Tales from Elsewhere is the channel name also, and the game.
Yep.
So.
I think I was in a stream with you once. Yeah, I was in the chat and Wes was interviewing him.
Okay. All right. Very cool.
So
He gets around a lot. He's good at that networking and socializing thing we were talking about earlier that we're not
I
good
know.
at. So.
I need to get better at that.
He's real good at it. Okay. So I wanted to know where you got the cool masks from that you wear in all your shorts, but I don't know if you have them around, but
Let's see. Actually, John got them for me, my husband.
okay.
And I can't remember. I think they were on Etsy. I know they were on Etsy, and it was a shop in England.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm trying to remember where it was. That's actually my second mask. The first one kind of fell apart. But this one's been holding up really well. I actually want to get a few more for the holidays or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they're pretty cool looking. Mask back. Let's see. There's Peter. He's got a question, and I've been saving questions for later, but that actually transitions well into what we're going to get into. So Peter asks, I have a game question for the Blind Bard. For visually impaired gamers, are grids versus range bands versus zones easier to work with for in-person play? And he says his assumption is that zones would be the easiest to work with.
Yes. Yep. They used to use minis all the time. And we've actually stopped doing that because I really can't see them if I'm sitting on one end of the table and everything's in the middle, because we have a pretty big table. I tell them, just go ahead and use them. I don't care. But they're like, no, we don't have to. So we just do zones.
I like zones
I think,
and range
yeah.
bands. They're pretty nice.
I think Star Wars uses range bands, and I forget who else uses zones, but that's what we do.
Cool. All right. Well, there you go, Peter. Also, Glee has a very important question. She wants to know, is the mask totally opaque or is there a mesh in it?
There is a mesh in it, so you can see a little bit. It makes it makes it difficult to see, but I can see a little.
Okay.
All
right. Well, I have a question about game prep. So when I prep for, be it a one-shot or campaign or whatever, I always over-prep. Notes everywhere, and I'll write the notes 3 or 4 or 5 times. So how does that work on your end? Is your memory just fantastic and you don't need notes, or how does that work for you?
I wish. I tend to over prep too, and I prep way too much and I forget half of it.
Yep.
So I am currently working on a system to help me, because what ends up happening is I'll write everything down on the computer and I'll try and put it in Braille. But my reading skills aren't the best. So I try to memorize everything, but you can't hold it all in your head. Mm-hmm. So even if I have a paragraph prepared, like if I'm starting like a brand new campaign, it's never going to sound as good as it could if I had just read it. So I'm trying to remember like little bits and pieces, just so that I kind of know what I want to have happen, or like I want to know the progression, not necessarily what the players are going to do, but I want to have an idea of where it's going. And I'm hoping that maybe I can come up with a system to help me, like for the sessions I'm running at Page, I have all of these little charms that I'm going to use to make charm bracelets for people, for their characters. And maybe I could do something like that for myself, so I know, okay, maybe the sword, maybe there's going to be a battle here. And then I don't know. There's got to be something, like something to remind me that, okay, yeah, this NPC is going to do this now. Mm-hmm. Or they're going to find this thing right here. It's planting the clues and doing all that. It's like putting together a puzzle. And when you have to remember all of it, it's pretty hard.
Yeah. I always remember the key moments 3 seconds after they happen. I was like, oh, dang it. I missed my chance. So. Yep.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah. Over prep. Let's see. Chat says this is the way. Over prep and forget. I agree. So. Now, I remember, so speaking of remembering something 3 seconds later, so earlier I did want to ask, it's like when you're at the cons and stuff, you have the cane. Glee was, I think she Googled the answer, but it's good for the chat anyway. The canes come in different colors to mean different things, don't they?
So for us, the cane is typically red and white. Mm-hmm. And that just lets people know that we're blind. And I don't know about other disabilities. There might be differences.
Mm-hmm.
but I've always seen the red and white canes. There are like a smaller canes which people use to just identify as blind or visually impaired, but if you want to use one, then you need one that goes to the point to the top of your shoulder.
Oh.
That's like mine is a 54-inch.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And usually you have to get that prescribed by your orientation and mobility specialist.
okay. All right. Let's see. Peter says, my prep usually involves major beats rather than details, so physical cues via sequential objects makes sense to me. Yeah. I can dig
Yeah, I
it.
think I'll try that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, speaking of tracking things, I did see a short about how you use different items to track different things. So, what you want to share some of those tips and tricks? Like, what do you use to track HP or spells or items or money? I guess you probably got
Okay.
coins for that, don't you?
Yeah, we use coins, gems sometimes. For HP, I like to use like we have little skulls that I got from the Quiet Year game,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my favorite way to track HP. Also, we have Dungeons and Dinos, and so their HP is um, little band-aid things they call ouchies, which I've also used. So basically anything can work. I mean, you can use coins, you can use dice, you can use anything that makes sense for you,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you have a way to count it. So like if I had 10 hit points, I would use 10 things. But if it was bigger, I would give them a bigger designation, like, every 5 or every 10 is one thing.
Right.
And usually I would keep them separated, like either have like a separate cup for each one, or I've even put them in my pocket.
Oh.
So just, if you have your left pocket for your HP, and when you get hurt, you just take some out and put it in your right pocket, and then you know how much you have left.
Pocket HP.
Exactly.
Have little tiny potions in your pocket.
Oh, I love my potions.
Yeah.
I have like potion dice that I use for potions. And it's easy for me because I always, if I don't have them, I forget I have them and I don't use them. So every time I get a potion, I always make sure to take it out and have it on hand so that I can like just go back and check, because that's not something you can check very easily on your character sheet.
Yeah. They had a pretty snazzy dice vendor there at Ecclesicon. They had a lot of weird shaped ones. They had some potion ones and bullet shaped ones and everything. I was tempted to get some, but I was like, I'm never gonna use these because so I don't have any local place to play. Like there's nobody I know out here who plays. There's not really any places for it, so everything is online for me. So matter of fact,
Yeah.
that con, Ecclesicon, that was the first time I've played at a physical table.
Really?
Yep. So it was a momentous occasion.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was fun. It was fun. I only dropped my dice once, but
So what state are you in?
I'm in Tennessee, down in the bottom left corner, down in Memphis. So
Oh, that's cool. I've never been there. Always wanted to go.
it is the opposite of cool right now. It's like a rainforest out there. It's hot and muggy and and terrible. All right. Now, do solo TTRPGs make it into your mix at all, or is that kind of a pain to do, or you ever given it a shot?
Yes, but okay, let me preface this by saying solo TTRPGs They can be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had fun playing a solo TTRPG when no one else wants to play the game that I want to play. But like the traditional way that you can play them is a major pain because they depend on roll tables. And I have a CCTV that I use, but it's getting harder and harder to see it. And so rolling on a roll table like that, it would just take way too long and it would break the immersion for me.
Yeah, I could see
So
that.
I cheat. And don't hate on me because I'm not trying to take anyone's job here. I use ChatGPT.
Oh no.
If I'm playing by myself, if it's just for me, no one else, then I will do that.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I can play.
Yeah. There's and so I just did a stream recently. It was another interview. This guy, he didn't just make it. He's been working on it for a while, but the Kickstarter has recently officially wrapped up in the sense that the product is going out. Like it's in the mail. So it's a game called Scale Mail. It's pretty fun. And he'd been run a game for us and all that, but because his Kickstarter, he did well and he ended up adding some stretch goals, and one of them was solo stuff. So he had reached out to a guy who kind of specialized in that, added some solo content. So that's what the stream was about.
Okay.
And I was telling him about this channel called Caverna do Lecus. I am sorry if I am butchering that name. I think he's Brazilian, but he does a lot of solo stuff. And there's one video he's got that every time solo comes up, I bring it up. And I think the title of the video is like Decision Paralysis No More. And he just runs through a game with nothing but a D6. And he's just making it up as he goes. So like no roll tables. He's like, no. He's like, get rid of those. You'll get lost in them and all that. He's like, just have a D6, and then whenever you have a question, ask the D6. And I won't spoil the whole thing, so people have to go watch it. But it's really good, and I tried that method a few times, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of hard to get in the mindset and just do it, but once you get going, it's like, oh man, yeah, that works. So,
all right. Can you email me that game? Because I would like to try that. Where to find it.
I was talking about,
where to find
the
it.
guys. Okay, yeah, I'll send you the video and then some scale mail stuff. I can do that because it's really good. Like you use whatever system you want, but his method was just, here's how you can kind of bypass the tables. So,
oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
because I've never found a good way to do that.
Just ask the almighty D6. What do I do? All right. Well, that'll be interesting. Now, I was also wondering, in some of your videos, I guess you could call it some of the B-roll footage you had, there's this, it looks like a typewriter, but it only has a few keys on it. Is that for Braille? Is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
I was guessing.
A standard Perkins Braille writer. It's very old.
Yeah.
And nowadays they have much more sophisticated things like Braille note takers and Braille displays that you can use via computer. But I just have the Braille writer.
Does it like punch the paper so it raises it up, or is that how?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just guessing.
So there's 6 keys and there are 6 Braille dots, and different combinations make the different letters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw like you were pushing a couple keys at the same time and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, so you can just combine them. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's
and
neat.
Once you know the contractions, you can do a lot with it.
Yeah, that's neat. All right, so also in one of your videos, I told you I watched a lot of them. You had talked about describing instead of visuals. If you're the GM, if instead of describing visually, describing sensations, like so smell and sound and stuff like that. So if one were to describe a dragon approaching the party, how would you do that from that angle, that perspective?
Hmm. I would probably have him swoop down so you could hear his wings approaching. And then when it lands, it will shake the ground. So it will kind of they'll hear it thud as it lands, and they'll kind of sense it. And that it might blow smoke at them, so they'll smell the smoke or they'll feel the fire if it attacks. That's how I would do it.
Cool, 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 cool. I think a fun one would be feeling the breath from the nose on coming down on top of you and just the amount of air coming out. It's like, okay, that must be a very large creature and it's over me. So,
Yep.
yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. Well, I found that one particularly interesting because I like writing. So, like how
I do too.
yeah, it's like that can be some fun exercises for me to try. So I mentioned virtual tabletops earlier. Now, are those anything you're able to use at all, or they just not play well with screen readers and whatnot, or?
So I have used D&D Beyond on my iPad, and I think I've used the app on my iPhone before. I don't currently have a subscription to it, but I've used Discord. Those are all of the ones I've tried, but I've heard that Owlbear Rodeo is pretty accessible. I've never tried it. I would love to get into some online games. I'm not sure exactly how to do it. But I think my husband's going to be running Conan for us, the new one, the Hyborian. So maybe that will teach me something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes the VTT's doing a lot, and sometimes it's just like, no, here's a place we can gather and see each other's dice, and that's the extent of it. So, just depends on the game.
I find it a lot easier to play in person, but when you can't and there's a lot of distance between you, then online is really helpful. Like for a while we were doing a Star Wars campaign, and we had like a little puck in the middle of the table, and our friend would join and we could hear him. And so half of us were here and the other half was elsewhere on Discord.
Oh, well, hey, looky there. GM Ben says, depending on the scheduling, I'd be up for running a blind bard game or two to see if I'm able. So, there you go.
Oh, that'd be cool.
He ran one for me recently. It was an Outgunned. And Outgunned, I don't know if you've heard it, but it's a super fun game, and he ran a super fun session. So we may or may not have driven a car through the 3rd floor of an apartment building. So...
Oh, that sounds so fun.
It's good times all around.
Hope your car made it.
Oh man, Ben, what did end up? I remember it was in the apartment for a while, and we drove it out at some point before it fell through. I think we ended up wrecking the whole thing though, and we ended up stealing the boss's the mob boss dude's car and taking it. It didn't make it. Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking. It's toast.
So Outgunned, is that like a syndicate type of game?
It's not a one-to-one Yahtzee, but it's very, very close to Yahtzee, the way the dice system works. And, trying to match numbers, get pairs or 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind. And Outgunned specifically is just play as over-the-top Hollywood action heroes. Die Hard, Matrix, that kind of thing. And
cool.
They have that company. It's made by Two Little Mice. They have a handful of other games, but I'm like 99% sure they all use that same system, the Yahtzee style thing.
Okay.
because they have one called Household, and that's where you play as really, 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 really small people, like you're riding on bugs and stuff. And I think that uses the same system. But then they just had a Kickstarter for a kind of Zelda-ish inspired looking one. But I think
Ooh.
I have no idea. It's probably the same system. I don't know. Somebody in chat can chime in. I don't think that one's out yet, but the Kickstarter's finished in the sense that the pledges are done. Like everybody, the money's in, it's locked in. It's time to spend the money and
Yep.
make the product. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
I've
There.
always been interested in Zelda type games.
Yeah. What have you? Heroes of Cerulean? I think that's how you say it. You heard of that one?
Vaguely. I think I've heard it mentioned like maybe once or twice, but I don't know much about it.
Okay. Apparently, somebody was running it at Ecclesicon last year. I don't know if you were there. I wasn't, but
Nope.
okay. It's straight up Zelda, but legally distinct. But that's what it's imitating, a Zelda. It's nothing but D4s. You play with a very video game mindset, like, oh, I fell in the hole, I take damage, and then I just pop right back up here where I fell off. So players, I think, roll all the dice, no GM rolling, very simple, straightforward. I haven't got to play it, but it looks super fun. And that's another one of those great gems out there that's free. You can just go grab it. So
Cool.
yeah, I'd have to load you up with all kinds of links after this.
Yes, please.
All right. So let's see. I think I had one from Glee before the chat. Yeah, D&D has more money / popularity, so it makes sense they're able to do more accessibility type of things. But what can small indie TTRPG devs do to also make their games viable options?
Okay.
Big question. I don't know.
I think for books, the tables sometimes can be an issue because a lot of times our screen readers do not read tables in a traditional sense. Like we read them left to right. Sometimes our screen readers read the first column, then the second column, then the third column, and we're like, okay, so what was that? Like, what was that tied to? What was that number tied to? So there are some things, and I'm horrible at this because I don't really know about all the accessibility things, but there are people that do that I could probably connect you with, that would have some of those answers. So tables is one thing. Pictures are another. A lot of our screen readers cannot read pictures at all. So alt text on the pictures would be helpful because otherwise we just get a bunch of different letters and numbers making no sense to us at all. And again, I wish I knew more about making the alt text and making the tables accessible. I just know that there's a way to do it in Excel and in Word. And I know someone that could point you in the right direction if you wanted an introduction.
Yeah, I remember when the Windows tools like Word and Micro or Excel a while back, all of a sudden there was just this accessibility panel that would pop up, and it's a thing you can, not an automation, but it's like a review thing. You say, yes, check my document, and it'll point out like, hey, this is hard to see, this is hard to read, that kind of thing. And just, it doesn't fix it for you, but it points stuff out. So I was like, oh, well, shoot, that's neat.
Oh,
So,
and another thing you can try is ask Microsoft, because they have an accessibility page where you can go and just put in your questions and it will show you how to do certain things.
So, all right, chat, you hear that? You got to make everything in PowerPoint like I've been doing. So, you heard it here first. Not really, but so if you're new to the channel, the running joke is that I make everything in PowerPoint. So, videos included.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because you watched that one where the guy
Yeah,
who made Adventurous, he made his first thing in Google
in
Slides, and I was like,
PowerPoint. Yeah,
yes.
PowerPoint's great, but it can also be tricky the more you add to it. Like the
Yeah.
text blocks that doesn't read well with the screen reader, but
Hmm.
um all of their like what am I looking for? What word am I looking for? All their different templates, those all work.
Okay.
It's just adding, like if you add like a text box, it doesn't read it right. Or pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it just like if the alt text hasn't been set in a picture, does the screen reader just basically start reading garbledy-gook and it just
Yep.
HJKL blah 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 blah? Okay. All right.
So I was reading a book, and every page had a picture, and it would read maybe for the first few lines, and then the rest of it would be just strings of letters and numbers. And I'm like, oh, that's not good.
I've seen some where they're just the basic kind of robotic voice sounding readers. On headers, it'll mess up. Like on the header or the chapter or whatever you want to call it, it'll just kind of have a line off to the side, and it usually looks like some kind of drawn thing. But it'll get hung up on that, and it'll just be like dash 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 or underscore 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 underscore. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh,
It that sometimes.
it throws you for a loop. Okay. So, similar vein here. Since you're making videos, I'm curious as to what that process looks like for you as far as from idea to it is now on YouTube. Like how does that look for you?
Okay, well, my process has changed a little.
Mm,
When I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. So
fair.
I would just write stuff down and then think that was good enough. And yeah. So now I try to script my videos. But the thing is, when I script them, I would do the research and I would script them, and then I would try to read them, and I would get hung up because I would try to memorize it all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really hard, especially when you're trying to do, like, I originally wanted to do 10-minute videos, and I'm kind of stream of consciousness. If I don't have it completely planned out, then I'm gonna like ramble, I'm gonna forget stuff. And so I tried to really be cognizant of what I was putting in there. But I found that when I was reading it, it didn't sound like me. It didn't sound right.
Mm.
And so now my process has changed again, and this is where the shorts come in. Like, I was doing shorts because I'm like, okay, it's going to take a while to make a video. Probably it's going to take me 2 weeks to a month to make a video. So let's do shorts in the meantime. That way I'm getting stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of took off. And I would love to get back to making longer videos. But at this point, I also kind of want to play games too. And I feel like if I'm spending all my time on shorts and videos, I'm not playing games. And where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
So I'm doing shorts for now. Doesn't mean I'll never get back to the longer videos, because I did enjoy those. And that's my ultimate goal. But right now, what my process looks like is, instead of writing it out on the computer first, I talk to myself out loud. Like, I'll record it on voice memos,
Okay.
because I'm an iPhone user. And I'll probably erase it and re-record it like 10 times until I'm happy with it's, I have a version that I'm kind of happy with, because it never comes out the same twice. And then I send it to myself and I workshop it. I kind of clean it up, make sure that there's no redundancy in it, um, and make sure it sounds like me and not a robot. Because I feel like sometimes if you write it down on the computer, you don't get it doesn't, it's not your voice sometimes,
Right.
because my writing style and my speaking style are different. So, um, I do that, and then I try to just kind of not memorize what I'm going to say, but remember the gist of what I'm going to say. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm kind of learning how to say things and not worry about being exact, because I wanted to come out sounding natural and I want it to be in my voice, and I want people to get the authentic me and not the me that I think I should be, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yep. No, no, I get you. I get you.
So it's the same thing when I'm doing voiceovers, you know, um, because my husband will read it to me. And then if it's a long thing, I don't always do it exactly the way I did it before, but the gist is there. And that's the important part.
Yep. So I'm in a similar boat. If I don't have the script and it's just up to me to go talk, and I'm going to turn a 10-minute video into 2 hours, because I will never make a point. I'll ramble and I'll just be like, oh, well, about this thing, about this thing, about this thing. So all my videos are scripted. Like I write it all out, and I got a little audio closet I made. So I have better audio quality than what we have at the moment. And I just read the script. Now, obviously, sometimes some things like the bloopers that happen, I'll keep some of those in there. Those, I don't script the bloopers. Those are all natural. But I did some years back. I made some training material, and it was the same thing. I was like, all right, I'm going to script it. I'm off screen, so it doesn't matter. I can just read it. But I had to make a trailer for the training content, and the company I was making it for, they're like, you have to be in this. And I was like, oh, well, I don't have a teleprompter or anything. So I tried to do the memorizing thing, and it was just like 30 seconds. I couldn't do it. I could not remember what to say, and if I remembered what to say, it didn't sound natural at all, because I was trying so hard just to remember the exact words and not fly off on a tangent. So oh man, that was the most.
It's hard. It's really hard, and especially if because I used to do like so many takes, and finally John's like, this is taking forever, just get it done.
Yeah.
And so like now when I go to make a short, I'm almost paralyzed, because like I want to get it right in the first take, and it's like I'm psyching myself up to not get it right. So I have to kind of just give myself the permission to have it not be perfect the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do something and it's not right, like a lot of times I'll say something, I'm like, I don't really like how that sounded, but we've already done it 3 times. It's fine. It's fine for now.
Yeah.
I'll improve.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, if I go back and listen to my first video, it's like, oh yeah, that's terrible. But it's just, you got to do it. The more you do it, the more natural it comes, and you'll pick up little things that help. For me, I'm very animated when I talk anyway. So when I'm in the little closet recording, I make sure to stay animated and move. That helps it, sound more natural and like me. So.
Yeah, I noticed that. You have a very natural way of speaking.
Yeah. Well, I can, even though I just said my first video sounded terrible, and I still agree, but like I did have a little practice making videos before I got on YouTube because, like I said, I was making some training material. So that's how I had a closet set up and everything for it. But yeah, I try, even though it's scripted, I do try to, make it not sound scripted. Could be hard sometimes.
It's really hard sometimes.
Yeah. Let's see, Beyond Final Fantasy. Just found this video in my recommended videos. You mean it didn't pop up in your subscriptions Beyond Final Fantasy? I see how it is. But I haven't seen you around in a while. Glad you made your way back. But also, chat, I think I've only got a couple questions saved over here, so if you want to start sending them in, we've been getting them answered along the way. But we are getting close to the end of my page. Doesn't mean we have to leave. Beyond Final Fantasy says, I have a blind player who is going to be GMing soon. Or should I say, rabble-rousing for EZD6. Looky there. Wasted
Excellent.
World, no less. The way his blindness works is he sees... Oh, everything he sees is light? Is that what you're trying to say there? The way his blindness works is he sees everything is light. I feel like there's a typo in there. But... Congratulations.
So he's got light perception.
Mm.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
Okay. Yeah, but have you played Wasted Worlds yet, or just basic EZD6?
I just played the basic one.
Okay. Same. I have Wasted Worlds, but I haven't actually played it, and now I will. I get to brag a little bit. I did get to play Dreadful Doomscapes, which is actually 2 play sets in one. I got to play both of those with Scotty when he was trying them out. So those were
Nice.
That was super fun. We played. Scotty ran the Dreadborn Hunters one, which I liked more, and that was actually, it took 2 sessions to get through, and it was great because I was a grumpy old man. I feel like we had 3 grumpy old guys on the team, and then the 4th player was just the new guy. It was great. And then the other play set within the play set is golly, I forgot what it's called, but it's basically just you're the victims of a horror movie. It's that kind of setup. There's some monster.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you're just trying to survive. You're just a survivor. Man, I forgot what it was called. Was that one just called? No, the book is Dreadful Doomscapes, I think. But anyway, that's it. You're either hunting the monster or being hunted by the monster, essentially. So
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, they were both pretty fun. I did not survive. I got to the very end where we were playing as the victims, the survivors. So I did something stupid at the end. I was like, well, we're done. I can just go do this. So away I went. I got yanked away by the monster.
Aww.
It was a good time, though. Let's see. Light perception, he says. Yep. So I'm not sure how to make sure he's comfy with rabble-rousing, running monsters and creatures in EZD6. So.
I would just talk to him and see, like, I mean, he part of it is when you start playing or GMing, you have to figure out what works for you. So he might have a system already that works for him. He might need help figuring out that system. I know I'm still figuring out my own system. So I would just talk to him, have an honest conversation and be like, hey, what do you think would be helpful for you to DM this game? Is there anything that we could do to make it easier? Because I know one of the things that helped me is being able to delegate certain things to my players. Like, especially if, like, because I don't confess to know all of the rules for D&D or EZD6 or anything. So I might need help looking them up every now and again. Doesn't mean I haven't read the book. It just means I can't hold all that information in. And looking it up is going to take a lot of time. And I'm all about keeping the flow going at the table. So if someone could, be my assistant and help me look up any rules that I need, if I'm not sure, maybe keeping time, maybe tracking initiative or or helping with like the hit points to monsters. Although if you're going to do that, then it's not going to be fun for your player because then they know exactly what the monster is. But yeah, I don't know. Just talk to him and see what ideas he's got, because I'm sure he's got some. And if he's got questions, let him ask you the questions and then problem solve it together.
That's true. What you on? You table buddies? Is that what you call them?
Dungeon buddies.
Dungeon buddies. Okay. Yeah. This is your little partner to help you out.
Yeah, but you have to be, like as a player, you have to be mindful of what you want to know, because it's not their job to read your entire sheet.
Right.
You really need to know like what you need help with and where they need to look, and that's what keeps it going.
An assigned rules lawyer twice does.
Yes.
Let's see. Beyond Final Fantasy says, I'm getting him a metal bowl to throw 1 karma in at a time for when the players spend karma. That way he can hear if someone spends karma. Well, that'd be nice. Just a little ding.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, when he hears the clink, 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 he knows somebody's about to mess up his plans. That's how karma is. All right. I like the karma, though. It's fun.
It is fun.
All right. Now, Glee did just ask a question that made me realize something I forgot to ask you at the very beginning. I was going to ask how you got the name, the Blind Bard. Was the Bard your first class or your favorite class, or just one you liked?
My first class was actually a ranger, but I picked the Blind Bard because A, alliteration. Why not?
Fair.
And B, I love to sing.
Oh.
And I know I wasn't going to mention religion, but I sing at church.
We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. But I've always been into singing. Used to sing with the radio, sing in the shower, make up little songs of my own. And I have played a couple bards. In fact, I might play one in this new Conan game that we're running. So we'll see. But that's basically how I got the name, because I'm like, okay, the Blind Bard, it rhymes. Yeah. People will remember that.
Yeah. Bard at heart.
And it's funny because it wasn't even supposed to be my channel.
Oh, really?
Because my husband, he's like, we should do a channel together. He's like, we could call it Tail Weavers and Taverns. And it was going to feature all of the stuff that we did in our campaigns. Like we would be telling stories about it. And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. And he's like, well, I need you to run it for me. And I'm thinking, what? So he's like, you need to be my social media person and like comment on the stuff. I'm like, I do. Okay. And so I'm like, well, if I'm going, he wanted me to make a YouTube channel just for that. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to be making a YouTube channel, I may as well do something with it. So I'm like, what could I do? Oh, I could share my experience. I think I'll do that. And that's how the Blind Bard was born.
Dang, he's a lot smarter than I am. That's what I should have done. I should have told Glee, it's like, let's make a YouTube channel, but you do all the work.
Well, it's funny. Now he's like, I don't know what I was thinking. It's hard. Why would I want to do that?
Man, it's a lot. So I originally started my channel as a way to build an audience because writing is what I want to do. So it's like, okay, I got to have somebody that wants my books. So that was one way to build an audience. And man, yeah, like 90% of my time is YouTube. It really.
So what do you write?
Fantasy stories is what I write. I got a world I made, and the idea is that every story is standalone in the sense you can pick them up in whatever order you want. They are not tied to each other. They're just all in the same universe. So you might start recognizing names and locations, but you will never be lost. And the more you read, the more Easter eggs you'll pick up as you're reading other
Okay.
stories. So
Now,
no,
my next question: are you on Audible at all?
not am I? Not Audible. Not Audible. I did try to get an audiobook made for the one book that is currently out. I tried twice. I had some people that were going to try, and it just didn't work out. The first guy, it was going to be really cool. He was going to bring in, because he was what's the word, like amateur voice actor, right? He was just getting into it. He had done like some commercial work here and there, but he knew a lot of other budding and aspiring voice actors. So he's like, oh man, we're gonna get a different person for every character, and like he was just putting all this stuff together. But unfortunately, right when we were about to get started, he had a death in the family, and I
Oh,
don't know who exactly, but it just made, I don't want to say like a domino of effects, like multiple other things kept happening, but it had such an impact that he had to drop all of his creative projects. He had to go back to school, pick up a different job. Like he had to change his entire life because of that. So I'm not sure how
oh.
that all happened. And then the other guy that was going to try it, he just ended up getting a new job and didn't have the time for it. So that one was less dramatic. So I
Well,
would
I'm
like to make an audiobook, but
yeah. I hope you do because I'd like to read your work.
yeah. So
I do most of my reading on Audible and it's called Bard. It's Braille and audio uh, reading downloads.
okay.
So
I don't I don't know if people want to listen to me for 20 hours straight or whatever, however long it would take to read the book. So,
I'd listen to you.
whoa. All right, there's one.
You have a very nice speaking voice. You would be good at voiceover actually.
Yeah. Give the
Mhm.
dragon some southern twang. Oh, jeez. Well, maybe. Maybe we'll give it a shot one day. I need a smaller scale project to start with other than an entire novel. So,
Yeah, I understand that.
cuz that I've thought about it, but I'm like, okay, I've jumped off the deep end on enough projects to not do it for this one because I have no idea, like, editing all that together. It's like, how do you do that? And then when are you uploading it? And I don't know what all the audio requirements are. So,
Yep.
uh, as I say, small scale projects, and then do the big one. Let's see.
Sounds like
GM
a
Ben
plan.
says we already listened to you ramble. That's fair. That's fair. But it's live ramblings, and you get to mess up the rambling sometimes with your own questions. So
That's the best part is interacting.
that's right. Well, that's why I like live streaming so much more than the videos. See, I started off doing videos like I tried every week, and I was just like, I can't do that. So then I tried every 2 weeks. But then back in February, YouTube was doing this community program thing, and they brought me in, and they were like, you should focus on streaming. I was like, awesome, because I don't want to make videos anymore. So streaming I find to be much more enjoyable because you have that direct interaction with the viewers instead of
Yeah.
working at it on a video, let the video go live, and then just comments. It's very one-sided conversation at that point, I feel like. So
Yeah.
I mean, making
So
videos is fun, but I like hanging out with ye old chat.
yeah, I hear you. Like I thought streaming would be easier than making videos, but I find it to be just as hard. Like I can talk on someone else's stream, but actually running one myself is like it's daunting.
Yep. Yep.
Probably because I haven't done it enough.
Yeah, well, it was like we were saying about the videos earlier. It's the same thing. You just gotta do it more and more and more and more and more, and then you'll figure out. Not to say I'm a pro by any means, but you'll figure out like, okay, a little silence here is fine. I don't have to fill in the air 24/7. I don't. It doesn't have to be constant engagement. It's fine. So just gotta learn to relax a little bit. which is funny coming from me because I'm never relaxed.
You seem relaxed.
I put on a good front. Internally, I'm screaming and panicking constantly, just like a squirrel.
How did you get your name, by the way?
Oh, Scrat. So, oh boy, here we go. History lesson. Way back in the Dark Ages, it was actually Sewer Rat for the longest time. Because I was a little kid and somebody dropped a snack and I ate it off the floor and they called me a sewer rat and it just stuck like glue. So I was that for the longest time. And me and my buds were hanging out and being silly, making silly voices, saying silly things, and somebody messed up, got tongue-tied and messed up sewer rat and said sewer scrat. And we're like, what's a scrat? I was like, I don't know, but it's pretty cool. So scrat kind of stuck. It was sewer scrat for a very short amount of time, and then it was just scrat. So it was that for a little bit, but then shortly after that, Ice Age came out, those movies.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, the little squirrel guy with the acorn. His name was Scrat.
The Scrat.
Except they spelled it different. So I decided to look it up at some point, and turns out Scrat, the first piece I found was old Scandinavian folklore. And it's this little mythical creature, and he like shape shifts and he harasses usually farmers and tricks them out of their gold and whatnot. But he can take like different forms and stuff. But then the wiki page, believe it or not too terribly long ago, got updated with much more other variations of Scrat from different places like Germany and whatnot. So Scrat apparently is folklore in many places. But the idea is usually some trickery and a pain in the butt little creature. So I was like, well, that works out. So.
That's the coolest name. And I love that it's a squirrel.
Yeah. I like my squirrels. So since before I was on YouTube, my name in all the online places was Scrat, but I would use the Ice Age squirrel. And then when I got on YouTube, I was like, well, I can't use that. I will get sued because Disney just bought him. So I need to stay as far away as possible from that.
Right.
So I was like, well, squirrel. That's basically what Scrat is. And I like squirrels. So it all worked out. So then I got a stock photo of a squirrel and used that in my videos.
That's fun.
Yeah. Glee
yeah, we have lots of squirrels around here.
Yeah, we do too. I give them peanuts. We had a raccoon last night come by.
We give them sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds.
So it has nothing to do with the stream and the chat at hand, but are you able to find like unsalted pumpkin seeds?
Yes.
Okay. See, I can't find them anywhere. They're all salted and roasted, and they're meant for people to snack on. So.
Oh, okay. So I will ask John where he gets them, and I will email them to you.
Okay.
Along with the Etsy shop where we get the masks.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Because you can get a ton of unsalted stuff.
Yeah.
And I love that because, I've got high blood pressure, so I can't have salted things.
Okay.
So every year, we try and get some unsalted nuts, unsalted pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, whatever.
Yeah. Say, Glee says Scrat is basically a druid in real life. It's true. I have a lot of animal friends. The backyard's a little animal sanctuary, so.
Yep, ours is too. We have a chipmunk.
We got one this year. This is our first chipmunk that we've seen, so.
Yep.
Well, we did.
Yep, we call him Little Marco.
Little Marco. We had a groundhog for a couple of years living with us. That was fun.
Aw.
Yeah. And she had a little mini groundhog too. And then she kicked him out because he would never leave home. He's like, but there's peanuts everywhere. Why would I leave?
Across the street from us is a place that has guinea hens, and the guinea hens will come over to our condo and they'll mix in with the turkeys that are there. So my husband will go out and he'll just spread his arms and the guinea hens get all riled up.
Hmm. Oh, I got some. We got some really good pictures of the chipmunk. I think just yesterday or day before. I'll have to send them your way. They're pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. I'm looking at my thing here. You already answered that one because Beyond Final Fantasy came through asking that question. So let's see what I got saved here. A very early question from way back when was, does Jin have any affiliate links for these accessibility tools? Like your pixel dice and stuff you were talking about?
I do. I should. Yes, I do. Tell you the truth, I'm not great at this affiliate link thing. I'll have to reach out to them because I think it changes every month, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, are you like, do you go through Impact or something like that, or is it them
No,
directly?
no,
Or...
it's their own thing. But I don't know if the one I have is still current.
Okay.
So I will have to reach out to them.
All right. Cool. All right. So another one is Crabsoft. I can't keep track of initiative even with visual tools. What does the bard do?
I just okay. So I've done like I used to like write it down on a piece of paper. I have like really thick markers that I would write it down on. So I've done that. And I've also told people to keep track of their own initiative. So I'll be like, okay, who's next up in line? And they should know it's them, what number they got.
Should.
Should. I mean, to be honest, I really don't care about initiative. If you guys all just want to go at once, that's fine with me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about Easy D6, though. Like, it just has one side goes in the other side, and that's the extent of the order.
Yeah.
So they can argue whoever wants to go first.
It's tough to keep track of initiative. Like, that's something I would farm out to one of my players. Be like, hey, keep track of this, please, if you don't mind.
See, yeah, that's what I was saying twice. That side initiative would be, you would think would be easier. I find it just more enjoyable anyway, instead of hard to find places in the initiative. Now, I will say, the Great Mustache, we were talking about him before we went live. He's got a game he's working on, and the initiative system is like a big feature of that game. It's really interesting because you have your initiative stat, and that defines where you are in the initiative. But like the types of actions you take and do will push you farther up or behind the initiative, which is just constantly. It's pretty neat. So like, you can do like little light things, and it'll just bump you up one, so you might immediately get to go again. So, and I think he had a piece of paper, and it looked like what you're talking about with the alternating color thing going on, and it was just like 1, 2, 3. I think it was 5 on each side, so it was like 1 to 10. And you just place everybody there, and then whenever you do a thing, you move up so many spots in it. So it's
cool.
It's pretty neat. It made things interesting. Let's see. All right, Glee says, I have a silly question from the question of the day. So in Discord, I have a bot that posts a random question of the day every day. And she wants to know, what class represents you best in real life? I think we kind of found out that was the bard, maybe, but...
Yeah, I would say the bard is a pretty good representation of me. I don't think I'm a fighter. I'm not strong at all, so... you know, and I always lose track of everything, so ranger wouldn't fit me. I have enjoyed playing the wizard class and all the other magic classes. And I like to take care of people, so especially the healing magic stuff. But I think for me in real life, I think Bard is perfect.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Let's see. Beyond Final Fantasy, would you happen to know of any product lines for miniature terrain or miniatures for blind players?
That is a very good question. Okay, to be honest, if I was going to recommend anything, it would be Dwarven Forge. And I know that they're not the cheapest, but they're very tactile. So you'd get all the sensation, of just like terrain and stuff. For minis, not really. What we used to do is buy them from, what's that place that makes the minis?
Games Workshop, the really expensive one.
It's one that you can design yourself.
Oh, Hero Forge.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That's where we used to get all of our minis done, and yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
I mean, I think, especially for terrain, I think Dwarven Forge would be the best because you can kind of like it's all tactile, which is great because then it's not like painted on or anything. So, but that's a really good question. I should look into that and see if there is anything out there for blind players because I never had considered that.
Yeah.
So good question.
Looky there. All right. Let's see. We got another one from Glee. She's got a whole bunch. How does TTRPGs compare as a hobby compared to other hobbies in terms of being accessible? Parentheses, in all ways.
I would say that TTRPGs are like 70% accessible. What you're going to run into is character sheet creation can be difficult. Sometimes reading the books can be difficult because of the pictures and the roll tables. But in general, it's a pretty accessible hobby. I mean, you can be anyone and do anything, and you might need a little help, at times, especially if you're GMing to keep the flow of the game moving, or you might need help reading your character sheet sometimes. But you have your imagination, and that's pretty much the biggest thing you need. So I'd say it's very accessible.
Sweet.
And you can always like customize it to fit your style too. Like you don't have to do rules as written. You can condense them if you want. You can, like if I was playing Coriolis, I think I would condense the narrative a little bit and not use all of the lore and just make up my own stuff, because there is a lot of lore in that game. So, and for Kids on Brooms, if I don't want to use the complicated spell system to calculate the DCs, I don't have to. I could just give a standard DC and people could try and do it. I've seen people do that before. So it's your table, your way, your rules. So
that's very true. All right. And then one from Twice Dead. He says, I have initiative tokens. I think he's talking about the system he's working on. And he wants to know if that would be easier or harder for the blind player.
Okay, so when you say initiative tokens, I'm assuming it's like that's what I'm trying to think. Are they all the same?
That is a good question. We will have to come back. Tell us about those initiative tokens, Twice Dead. And in the meantime,
I mean, I think like I would love to use initiative tokens. But if they represented different parts of the initiative order, you need a way to tell them apart. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, same guy, another question. Games based around cards, yay or nay for the blind?
Okay. I have never tried a game based around cards before, although I do have some. I wouldn't actually, no, that's not true. I tried Dungeons and Dinos, and that uses a card. It's not the easiest thing for me. I would probably need to braille something on them. But that doesn't mean I won't try it.
Yeah.
Because I'm always up for anything. So, I mean, we played Dungeons and Dinos, and that has cards. I guess what we did in that case is John just read it to me. And he read me what was on the card, and that's how I made my choice. And I do have some tools I could use. I do have a mini CCTV that I could potentially use there.
Let's see. Somebody came back. Beyond Final Fantasy said, and this is the name of something. Let's talk about making your RPG better to the blind and individually impaired. I think it's by something called RPGs and More, but he said he has a video on miniatures and mini terrain. So,
perfect.
Yeah, might be something to check out. Neat. All right. And then Twice Dead, getting back to the tokens, he says they are meant to be equal in size, so you don't know who you're taking out. I think this is the one he was talking about before, where you put a bunch of tokens in a bag and then you reach in randomly and pull one out. So,
so that's so is it like who you attacking next?
I think it's just who goes next. So you don't know who you're taking out. Usually different in color. He uses poker chips. Because I remember him talking about this system before, and it sounded interesting.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, I could see different colors as long as they are distinct enough.
So like a solid color poker chip and no patterns on it?
I mean, I know the poker chips have like patterns around the sides, but I can tell the difference between a red and a green or a red and a yellow.
Yeah.
But like if you weren't using color, you could try using different weights. So like, or different textures. Like some coins I know we have kind of some textures are smooth, some are rough, some have ridges on the edges. Things like that might work too.
Okay.
If you have to tell them apart.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Has the blind bard played Troika? I think that's how you say that name. If so, was the initiative stack easier or harder?
I have never played that game.
Me
I know nothing
neither.
about it.
He likes it.
What is it?
I don't know. Twice Dead, what is Troika? I'm thinking of... I know what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of something else. So give us the brief rundown that fits in a YouTube chat. The rules light, super crunch. medieval space fantasy. All right. In the meantime, Crabsoft. Is the blind bard a fan of ambient music at the table? And then he says, I'm
Yes.
a hater, of course. Yes, Crabsoft hates
Ah,
everything.
yeah. You hate ambient music?
Sounds like
I
it.
enjoy it, but a lot of people at my table don't.
Really?
We have used it, and one of our players actually fell asleep,
Oh.
so we had to we had to stop. I particularly enjoy it, and
Yeah.
if we're doing like duet campaigns, my husband is great about putting on music, and I also like to find different kinds of music. I feel like it's a bit harder for me to do that, but when I have the time and I can, I do like to find some music.
I will spend, especially when I was running some campaigns, I would spend entirely too much time trying to find just the right track. Usually just to forget it half the time, but you know, that was some of that over prepping we were talking about. But
Yeah.
I'd try really hard to find just the right music for the fights and stuff and whatnot.
Yep.
So I like music.
I do too.
Beyond Final Fantasy again, what's some of your favorite magic systems as someone who has blindness? My blind friend likes the freeform magic systems such as with weirds which are the casters and wasted worlds for EZD6. So
Oh, cool. I actually like the magic system in EZD6 and ICRPG.
oh.
Also, the one from Kids on Brooms, although that one is for the DM, it's difficult to calculate things. But if you're a player, it's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I've never been a big fan of D&D magic systems.
you could have just stopped at D&D. Like I've never been a fan of D&D, so we would have allowed it.
I like the Shadow Dark system too. I like the roll to cast because you don't have to keep track of your spell slots, and it's a lot more dangerous, especially if something goes wrong.
Okay. Well, let's see. Well, we had another magic question too, since we're on that. Glee, with playing a lot of magic classes, do you have a favorite spell / effect moment?
I kind of like chain lightning,
Oh.
but I mean, I tend to gravitate towards the same spells, like Burning Hands, Firebolt, those types of things. Sleep is a big one, but I'm trying to get better at trying different kinds of things. Some of them are very specific to the situation you're in. So I tend to gravitate to the ones that I can use all the time, regardless of what you're doing.
I'm always a barbarian, so I just swing the axe.
Barbarians are so fun, especially when you rage.
Yeah. That's what I do. Druid in real life, barbarian at the table.
Yep. What in real life?
Druid with all the animals and stuff. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I played a barbarian in Fate of the Norns, and it was so fun.
Sometimes you just gotta smash things.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Twice Dead came back and said Troika is the weird science fantasy RPG. Light Rules in the British side of the OSR is based on the Fighting Fantasy book series.
Okay.
I didn't know any of that. So we both
I'll have to
something.
check that out. If it's rules light, we have to try it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see.
How do you spell that? TOTROIKA?
Yep. And I think it has an exclamation point and question mark at the end of it too in the title. So
Okay.
I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Twice did, but I believe that's how they do it. I'm sure you'll get it either way. Let's see. Beyond Final Fantasy says, I'm getting cyber dark. Think Shadow Dark, but in a cyberpunk genre setting, but with glitches as magic. Oh. All right.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Is that actually the Shadow Dark system beyond Final Fantasy? Or does it just happen to have dark in the name? Glee says her magic experience includes Mage Hand, and that's it.
Ah, a useful spell
Yeah.
or cantrip.
Well, she had a character. We were playing as a custom race. This is back when we were playing 5e. Everybody was mushrooms, and the way she flavored it was her character was missing an arm, so the mage hand was the arm, so it was always attached to her and didn't actually like. Well, you might have let it float out a little bit here and there, didn't you, Glee? But the idea was it was attached for the most part.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Listen, no, that's the one we part of the custom race was like they could either have an item or ability that started kind of weak and then got better as they grew, and I think that's what she did. Yeah, your hyper evolution, her mage hand actually got better, so when she was low level it was attached to her permanently, and then as she grew and got better she was able to extend it and do things with. So little home brewing.
That's fun.
Yeah. Yep. She was a rascally little rogue, arcane trickster, I believe.
Yeah, I've never tried that. I
Troublemaker.
have done the what was it? The rogue with the soul knife. I can't remember what it was.
That wasn't an arcane trickster.
Oh, it might have
I
been.
was say it kind of sounds like it. Something like a soul knife, anyway. I don't remember all the different classes and specializations.
There's so many.
Yeah. Twice Dead wants to know, does the Blind Bard have any experience designing homebrew included? Yeah, because I say, rite of passage is you got to make your own system, right?
Yes. I'm working on it. So when I'm doing my blindfolded sessions, I'm trying to design a world that it lives in so that in the future, I can use the world again for other things. So I don't have it all figured out yet, but I'm kind of thinking post-apocalyptic where everything is shrouded in like magical darkness. So maybe there was some kind of magical war that kind of ruined everything and made things pretty intolerable for most people. Only a few survived. So that's what I'm thinking. And I'm trying to develop that so that when I do my sessions, that will be the world. And then maybe I can develop a setting and a game around it.
Cool. All right, I'm getting scolded in the chat. Soul Knife is another subclass, not an Arcane Trickster. Oh, I thought it was like an ability or something. That went to the Arcane Trickster. My bad. I'm paying attention. All right. Okay. Post-apocalyptic is such a fun thing to design, he says. I agree. It is so much fun. Fallout is probably one of my favorite settings. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all.
Yes.
Oh, it's so silly because it's so close to just fantasy the way it works. Like I already like the retro futuristic look and vibe. That's already a winner for me, but mix that in with the silliness that, the radiation gives you magical powers essentially in a lot of ways, and just it's a silly setting, but it's not over the top silly where you can't take it kind of seriously if you want to. I feel like, I don't know. It's just, It's really good. I love the Fallout setting.
Have you seen the TV show?
I haven't. It didn't it didn't appeal to me.
Mm.
I've heard good. Well, some people said it was good. Some people were like, no, please don't. So I've heard mixed, but it just I saw some trailers and I was just like, I don't think that's it for me. So
We started watching it, never finished it.
yeah, not very good. Or
No, I think we got into other things.
mm,
So sometimes we'll watch YouTube, sometimes we'll watch Amazon, sometimes Netflix. You never know.
that's true. That's true. Okay, so Cyberdark is based on Shadow Dark. All right, cool. I was wondering. Okay. Well, that is we are caught up on the questions in chat. That was everything I had for you. Now, is there anything else you would like to share with the world? I think I have a lot of links to add to the description. Your channel is already in there, but we're gonna get some affiliate links if you have any. That one Beyond Final Fantasy mentioned about the miniatures. Oh, there's one more question sneaking in. What pop culture slash fan media do you most enjoy getting inspiration from?
Oh, well, I'm an avid reader, so I read a lot of books, fantasy, about like let's see, what was okay, Harry Potter is one, and I know people have a love-hate relationship with it, but it did inspire me in some ways. Um, Suzanne Collins has been a big inspiration. She does the Underland Chronicles, which is one of my favorite settings. And I based my first campaign on it. And who else? Jonathan Stroud. He was another one. Those books, the Bartimaeus Sequence, I think it's called. And it's a book it's a series about a demon and his adventures. And I've always been fascinated with demons. And I've always been fascinated with dragons as well. So Tui T. Sutherland, she wrote some books having all to do with dragons and prophecies and all sorts of stuff. And so I try and think about all that stuff and see if I can reskin it and make a campaign of my own. I actually have a manuscript that I wrote like forever ago that hasn't been published or anything. I just wrote it for me, but I'm thinking of trying to make a campaign out of that. So who knows? But it's funny. My biggest thing, I have I have such an easy time getting into the NPCs that I'm playing, when I'm DMing a session.
Mm-hmm.
But I have such a hard time coming up with a concept for my own character. I don't know why. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Just pretend you're making an NPC.
Yeah, I know. I tell myself that. Yeah, I should, that's a good idea.
Just you say I'm gonna make this to aid a player, and then after you make him, boom, there you go. That's your character.
Yeah, maybe I am overthinking it.
Always, that's how we do it. Overthink, overprep, and forget everything.
And I try and steal from like TV shows if I can. Tropes that I think might be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that. All right.
Yep.
Well, I think that'll do it. I was gonna ask earlier, but then we had another question sneak in. But if there was anything else you wanted to get out there into the world that is a Squirrel Plays before we head out of here.
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming. I appreciate it. I loved meeting all of you. And I hope that I've given you a new perspective on blind tabletop gaming. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. It's theblindbard@critsuccess.net. And yeah, thank you for all of your wonderful questions.
Yeah, and that email is also on her channel page. If you go to her channel and hit the about, it's that's how I got in touch with her. Which, funny story, I emailed her, and then I didn't get any response for a few days, and then I had to poke Dave over at Grimwood Games. I said, "Hey Dave, this is gonna sound really dumb, but I emailed the Blind Bard, and I don't think she saw it. So
I did. You know what? It's funny because no one's ever emailed me on that address before.
I'm the first.
So I use it a lot for like other things, and then I felt so bad when he said, "Oh, yeah, Scrat's trying to get in touch with you." I'm like, "Oh, the one time I didn't check."
That's all good. What's the email? Well, I don't know if I can put an email address in the description. I don't know if YouTube will get mad at me. But Beyond Final Fantasy was asking for it again. Was it the Blind Bard at critsuccess.com?
Yep, the Blind Bard, all one word, CRIT success.com. .net, sorry, .net.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now just to see. View email address. I am not a robot. Let's see. Submit. Yeah, .net. The Blind Bard. You know what?
And I'm gonna ping John. Alexa, announce. Please tell us the Etsy shop where we got the masks.
Announcing on all devices.
There you go.
All right, I got your email on the chat there. So
the Etsy shop where we got the masks.
You got like a in-house intercom system or something, or how does that work?
Oh, just the I have an Alexa and an Echo down here.
Oh, okay. Everyone's smart devices just freaked out. I think.
Oh,
sorry. No, they're fine. Glee's just messing.
What else was I supposed to ask him? I can't remember. The masks.
I think that was it. Masks. Somebody asked about the miniatures, but that was something different. Nope, got nothing. I think that was it.
Hysteria Machine.
Hysteria Machine?
Hysteria.
On Etsy, right?
Yep.
All right. Hysteria Machine on Etsy.
Let's see if I can. Well, Hysteria Machine. There it is. Oh, yeah. They got it. Okay. All right. Well, you heard it here. Can I get... That's a very lengthy, long link. But here you go. Chat. Boom. All the links. I can put them in.
And I can't recommend them enough. They are very comfortable.
Oh, okay. I was kind of wondering. Some of those masks look really cool, and then you put them on, and then they poke you.
Yeah, the first one was like that. And when I tried to tie it, they used ribbon, and my head is super small, so it didn't really stay. So I had to get clamps, and that kind of worked. But then we got the mask I have now, and it's all good.
Okay. Yes, Glee, you are right. I should make a follow-up post later. Now we'll see if I actually do it. Okay. Well, that was fun. I'm going to wrap it up there. I appreciate everybody coming by. Jen, do not hang up yet, even though I'm saying bye to everybody. But I'm just going to... She has some really cool wands. Yes, she does. Okay. And Glee is not taking over all the social stuff, Crabsoft, as much as I want her to. But I am going to bounce, and I think Tuesday, everybody, next week, I think... Hang on. Let me check my calendar. I think we're playing the frog game Tuesday. We are. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. We will be playing Wardens of the Wetlands, and we got Peter from Tales from Elsewhere. We also got one of his behind-the-scenes man, Daniel. He's also joined us. John from Sharp Mountain Games, and me, of course. And then who was the other guy? Dang it. Zachary from Peasantry. That goofball. He was in one of my streams where we played Nuts in the Clock World. So it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna save the marshland. Well, I asked Wisp twice, Glee, and he is unable to come both times. I was struggling yesterday. All right. That's it. So say bye, YouTube, and I'll hang it up.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
All right.